So next topic is automation migration strategies. Now for example, a new product is there. A company wants to manufacture a new product and it wants to sell it. Question is whether the company has to buy automated equipment and produce the components and then sell it, or there is something else that has to be done. So conventional logic tells that direct investment into automation technology will be a huge risk. So where possible, the three steps are to be followed, that is phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3, and this will be called as the automation migration strategy. So the first idea is to produce a product through manual means. So that is phase 1, manual production using single station manned cells operating independent. For example, you are to produce a particular shaft. So that shaft can be produced on conventional lathes with a good level of accuracy and other requirements, and then it can be sold to the customers and then get the orders. Now why the manual? Because the tooling that is required, you don't require any special kind of tools for doing the manual operation. For example, you want to make a gate which is required for the houses. So this can be manufactured by using simple cutting machines and then a welding machine. It is sufficient. We can cut the required bars and angles and channels. We can do the welding and then do the painting, and then we can supply it to the customer. So there is no automation involved over here. Everything is done manually. Now once the orders are going to increase, then maybe the second phase will be to automated production using single station automated cells operating independently. So for example, we take the example of the gate only if we take, or we can take the example of the shaft. Now if we take the example of the shaft, suddenly the orders are increasing, more orders are coming. Maybe we can go for the CNC machine here. The second step will be the painting or some other activity is required, maybe the tapping or some activity is involved, painting operation is involved, or maybe heat treatment operation is involved, some activity is involved. So here we can use a CNC machine and we can perform the turning operation using a CNC machine. We can combine 100 or 200 components. We can do the heat treatment, or maybe we can do the painting subsequently, and then we can supply it to the customer. So why we use a CNC machine? CNC machine is used because we want to make more number of components in less amount of time. Or if you take the example of the welding, maybe some cutting is required, cutting of bars are required for a particular length. Doing manually it may take a lot of time. Maybe if you are putting a bar on one end, the system automatically cuts for the required number of parts, or it may even able to bend it. So all these things are possible. So only welding can be done manually, so cutting and other things can be done automated. So that is also possible. So overall we are able to produce more components in less amount of time, thereby we are able to meet the demand. Now if the demand is not there, there is not much of a loss available, because whatever equipment is there, it is still conventional equipment. We can produce some other component using the same equipment. But if you procure a CNC machine, then the number of components that can be produced is very less, because the machine was selected to produce a particular set of components. It will be having its own limitations. So a general machine has got more variety possible, whereas a CNC machine has got some amount of limitation and there is less amount of choice available. The next phase will be the automated integrated production using multi-station automated system. For example, you have used one CNC machine and conventional welding, and you are producing large number of gates and you are supplying it to various engineers for the construction activity. Now if more and more orders are continuously coming, then we can go for complete automation. Even the welding process can be automated if we are going for manufacturing of the gates and other things. If you are going for the shafts example I told, the CNC machine is already being automated. Even the heat treatment process and the subsequent painting process can be automated. We can also have a robotic arm which is going to take out the component, put it into a heat treatment furnace, and from there we can do the painting using a robotic arm and then placing into the bin for shipping it to the customer. So more than one automated station can be there, and the two automated stations can be combined by using some automated material handling equipment, thereby improving the productivity or improving the production rate. The main idea is to meet the customer demand. So if the customer demand is not there, we may go automation only up to phase 2. If the customer demand is not there, we may stop at phase 1 and produce the few number of components required by using manual methods. So this is how the automation migration is done, because in the first phase more number of people are required, in the second phase more investment is needed and moderate number of people are required, whereas in the third phase very high investment is needed and the people are further going to be reduced, because as the system complexity increases it can perform lot of activities with less number of people, but the people are required in different areas and not in the actual production. So this is how the production of a component should be planned for automation. Straight away if you are going for automation, it will be a very risky activity.